Chubby blue blood flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old-style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubbies, on Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Boutros Ghali.
Son Ranto.
Michael.
Son Ranto.
Cotton.
Son Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto.
Boutros Ghali.
Pre-game show. Hi, welcome to the Son Ranto Show. My name's Danny Rocket, and I am here with my favorite Brewers fan in the world, if there is such a thing, and that is the very funny and talented Eric Wielo. This is a pregame show. We're playing each other 2 games today. It's an Ernie Banks Let's Play 2 doubleheader. And hashtag chance in the chat if you'd like to win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. Eric, how the hell are you? Sitting on top of the world, aren't you?
Top of the world, baby. The Brewers are rolling. They win 14 fucking straight. All you fucking Cubs had 8 up, right? Still 8 up.
But I would like to add something to that is that they lost yesterday. So in your face, Wielo, you lost yesterday. Streak over. Goodbye, Brewer season. Bye.
Yeah, we lose 1, and you have Kyle Tucker who can't even fucking run to first base, and you're fucking booing him, dude.
You just wait. I know.
This is a great team. Your energy is so perfect heading into this series.
Well, but we've won 2 straight, which is the start of our big streak. You watch out, because after this sweep, you'll only be 3 games up on the Cubs after your 14-game swing that you magically somehow pulled off. I don't know how it's done with, a bunch of guys that aren't household names, unlike our guys. But anyway, we'll get into all this Brewer Cub bullshit in a moment. But we got to start with something we've been meaning to talk about for a while, which is your now connection to a very famous Cub, Anthony Rizzo, who, well, just tell me about the podcast that you work on and what happened, because I'll put up a picture of you and Rizzo to start with.
The enemy of my enemy. I don't know. No, this is fucking Anthony Rizzo. We're in Miami. I work for Glory Days with Johnny Manziel. I produce, write, book, all things above for his podcast. It's for Friday Beers, if you know them. And just randomly, we're in Miami. We're shooting an interview with Cam Newton. They're like, hey, Anthony Rizzo's in town. Do you want to do an interview with him? So I found out, and then I had 12 hours to write an interview for Anthony, and he showed up, and here he is. I messaged Crawley, I messaged Cotton, I asked for questions, I messaged you, Danny, and we put it together, and the rest is history.
I didn't have very many serious questions, Stan. I wanted to know about, his toe fetish and if he knew that a certain podcast called him Anthony Riz Toes. But Crawley was very helpful. Like, shout out to him.
He was super helpful with the questions and the Cubs core and Adolis Chapman and challenging, the Cubs, the whole Reds dugout, and just the questions you guys wanted to ask. And I was a little tentative, because Rizzo, he's really media trained. So I was interested to see what version we were going to get of him in this podcast, man. And he opened up hard and kind of took some shots at the Cubs front office for not adding more pieces when they had that core together. He said the Yankees getting traded to them was the best thing that's ever happened to him, which was really surprising.
He said he became a man there.
There.
Ouch.
He spoke to your franchise in the way of they do things there the way they do them because that's the way they always did it. And it was refreshing to go to a team where there was, things that changed and there was reasons behind them and everything was being evaluated. And he said it really lifted him up as a man and lifted him up as a person and revitalized his career and gave him that fire again.
I didn't take it totally personally, although I did a little bit, but more what I thought was that he was kind of saying a change of scene was good for him personally as well. But if Kyle Tucker getting booed That's not going to help us re-sign him in Chicago. It's just,
No.
there's no way. Not that, and people are like, oh, I don't want that bum. I'm like, well, I don't think he wants us now either. And we all know that he'll bounce back at some point. And this happens to so many players in Chicago that they hit some rut and they're like, actually, this isn't fun to be here. Which we shoot ourselves in the foot on purpose. And Rizzo did speak to some of that. Can I play a clip real quick of him fighting the Reds dugout? This is from the Johnny Manziel Glory Days Instagram page, so you can find that too. But
we were playing the Reds. I think it was 4 games in 3 days. We had a doubleheader. It was Chapman who was pitching. He threw a couple wild pitches. I don't know. And I was just yelling, and he was looking over, and he went in the dugout. He was chirping. Their dugout was chirping. I was like, let's go.
So it didn't sound like Rizzo was.
No, he did not instigate that. Anthony, if somebody said something to Rizzo from the Reds dugout that he responded to.
I don't know. I kind of blacked out. And then I find out after the whole fact that Chappie in Cuba was a boxer. He's yoked. And then literally a week later at the All-Star game, we're on the same team. So we dapped up and we said what's up and kind of made our peace. But we're in the shower later on that in the All-Star game. It's just me and him. He's just standing there staring at me, arms crossed. And I'm showering in the corner. I turn around, I just give him a little nod. He said, "What's up, Poppy?" I was terrified.
So can you imagine not only being accosted by Aroldis Chapman, but being accosted while you're both buck naked,
dude,
and wet, and he's just looking at you, and you're like, "Oh my God, I think I might die right now."
I think I might be prison raped by Aroldis Chapman at my first All-Star game.
Well, and this is a man that grabs his own mother's breasts.
This is
for a joke.
Yeah, I've come to the conclusion there is a pattern I've noticed with Anthony Rizzo of a lot of moments with Anthony happen with his fucking dick out.
Yeah, he seems to be a bit of an exhibitionist because the other clip I had was him talking, and I'll play it a bit, but about the neither confirmed nor denied rumor that there was some sort of nude Rocky speech that took place in the Cubs in the locker room before one of the World Series games or something.
Yeah, well, apparently it goes, what were they? They were fucking down in that series, right? I think it was, 3-2? Were they down?
3-1.
3-1 they were down. And a great question I asked him was why it was so hard to win in Chicago, because they didn't win a game at Chicago. They won the last one, correct? But they lost the first 3 in Chicago. I asked him what was so hard about winning there, and he just said, it seemed like the crowd, it was their first time. Everybody was just stunned and fucking shocked to be there. But I also learned from you, it was just rich people buying tickets and the true fans were locked out.
That's a lot of what it was, and especially that game 3. And that was interesting. By the time you get to game 5, then the tickets came down to about $1,000 a head. My friend Dallas was in town from Australia, and I was like, dude, I think I could get you a ticket. I didn't want to go. I had been to 3 and 4, and I was done. I was just like, you know what? I'm bad luck. My juju, I can't do it anymore. So but I knew of a ticket. I knew of a ticket. And so this guy Dallas ended up getting in for $1,000, which was about less than half of what it cost before that. It was $2,500, $3,000. So the right crowd was in there, and I think it changed everything. Yeah. And he talked about that. He was like, this is weird. What's with all these quiet fans? They were super tense, and they were 1-1. It wasn't like we were 0-2 going into that game. We had won a game already in Cleveland. So there was no reason to be that freaking tight, except for that it was a lot of the wrong people way too tight.
But it eventually worked out for you. And the story that I tried to get out of him was him in the dugout. You're down 3-1. And he started to get naked to give pregame locker room speeches, and he was just quoting Rocky movies. And then the story goes, I think it was Angel Pagan sprayed his balls with shoe cleaner as he was fucking doing it. And Anthony got so pissed off, he stormed out. It just killed all the energy in the locker room. And he just goes back to his locker. And David Ross comes up to him and he goes, "Hey, buddy, it's not how many times we get knocked down. It's how many times we get up." And then Rizzo just popped up and he's like, "Yeah."
Well, and he talked about the veteran leadership on that team, specifically with Johnny Lesta, and also Dexter Fowler was another one he mentioned, and David Ross, who ended up being the manager. And then his sadness of everybody getting traded away, and he thought he was going to go to the Red Sox. which he was excited about. And Yankees was kind of a pipe dream, but then that happened. And like you said, he said it was one of the greatest things that ever happened to him, and that was like kind of hard to hear. But he did say to fuck the Brewers, which I do want to play that clip. I want to make sure.
Let's do this one. Well, I'll
see what the Brewers.
So I cut you off.
Set this up. So Johnny was running a little late, so it was just me and fucking Rizzo just chatting it up, and I asked him about the Cubs Brewers rivalry, and he opened up a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I should put this in the interview. Here he is. This is, you could tell Rizzo generally hates me because I'm a fucking Brewers fan and asking him dumb shit about Angel Pagan spraying fucking shit on his balls, and if he'd be willing to talk about it. So you get that body language right there with the arms crossed. Okay, this is us.
He's opening it up. Yeah, he's opening it up in that picture. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like asked about the Brewers, the rivalry, and I'm like, okay, I got to fucking put this in the interview, and here's the clip.
All right, check this out.
You see what the Brewers are doing again this year. One of the best records in baseball. Won the division 3 out of the last 4 years. Feel like you can be a guy to maybe finally validate those Brewers fans out there and officially label the Brewers as the Cubs' biggest rival in the division.
I know your guy behind the camera is a big Brewers fan, so them. No, just kidding. I've always respected and admired Craig Counsell from afar. Now he's with the Cubs, and equal to him was Pat Murphy, their manager now. Their front office always produces talent, and they're always good. When we were there, that was definitely our bigger rival. It was more them than the Cardinals, just because they were always so annoying to us, right? Like they would always come in and they would do things they never did, but they always had good pitching. They always had a good bullpen. So again, what they're doing this year, they trade away their all-star closer, and they're still best record in baseball. So they're legit. They're legit. They haven't got over that hump in October.
Facts.
And can I add to this? One of Anthony Rizzo's old teammates, John Baker, I saw him yesterday, and he works for the Pirates now. And he's like, hey, let me know when you're in the ballpark. If I have time, I'll come over and say hi. So he did. And he was talking about the Brewers. And he goes, dude, it's like, I respect what they're doing so much. And he goes, because we have the same resources. We're the Pirates, like we're spending a similar amount of money as they are. He goes, but somehow they find these guys. They always get the leadoff guy on. He goes, that's what he said. The leadoff guys are always on. And it doesn't matter if you get a hit or not. He's going to steal a base. He's going to get on a sacrifice. There's going to be a pass ball. Something's going to happen. He's going to score. That leadoff hitter is going to get on. And he's going to score. Now, you've been playing out of your heads the last month, but, it's a little unprecedented. I mean, there's streaks like this in baseball but you guys seem to do it every single year. And that's what Rizzo was speaking to. It's like with freaking Pat Murphy does not missing a step after we freaking steal Counsell, I still consider him a traitor to your people.
Oh, I mean, he is fucking Counsell's the biggest traitor in the history of fucking Brewers. And like seeing what the Brewers are doing makes it all the more special to me. I messaged Crawley fucking around. I'm like, you paid $8 million to the wrong fucking guy. And that's becoming very apparent. Pat Murphy, manager of the year, his first year with the Brewers. Craig's never won one. Pat Murphy, arguably, he's going to win it again, 2 in a row. And I think the first manager since Bobby Cox did it with the fucking Braves. Like, this is an incredible season and an incredible run for us. And it just proves it was never about Craig. It was always about the system. It was about the development. It's what as your friend was saying in the Pirates organization, how are you able to bring these guys up, give them opportunities, develop them, and then they can just contribute immediately to this team? You look at the Brewers, you lose Corbin Burns, you lose Devin Williams, Willie Adames goes to, the Giants, and you guys start the season like you do every fucking year saying we're going to finish in 4th place, 3rd place, Reds ahead of us, you ahead of us, Cardinals ahead of us. And here we are, best record in baseball by a lot, with one of the best bullpens, one of the best starting rotations in baseball, and rookie of the year in Caleb Durbin, and possibly closer.
All right. I've heard about enough out of you. I mean, no, it is impressive. And if you weren't my favorite team's closest rival in the division, from afar, I think I would be excited for you guys, especially because you have never won it, and as an underdog fan, I would be a fan of that. But it's just and it makes me hate the Cubs more. You know what I mean? It's because
our success should piss you off.
Yeah,
and that's what we wanted to do.
And
it's like we play the long game. It's like spiteful, but we're doing it the long game. It's just not little one hitters, one season, one event, one moment. It's year after fucking year. We own your ass.
Well, and Rizzo felt it. Like when he said "fuck the Brewers," I felt like he kind of meant it. Like, and I know it was like, yeah, we hate the Cardinals, but yeah, seriously, fuck the Brewers. And also because we used to, when Rizzo was a Cub, we faced each other more. An extra 2 series. So it was all year long. Like and I kind of miss that. I mean, it makes kind of the season a little bit more, I guess, quote unquote, balanced, that everybody plays everybody. And like one division like the AL East, or one competitive division like the NL Central, can't just like beat the snot out of each other until nobody can win the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like, and also like getting back to Rizzo real quick, just like what him talking about climbing that mountaintop in 2016 and there being such a thing as the World Series hangover.
That was such a great moment. Yeah.
And the differences between when you get the juice. I saw Bernie Barron was criticizing Aroldis Chapman for being a wife beater. I'd also criticize him for being this as well. But the juice of getting a guy throwing 105 miles per hour and solidifying the back in your bullpen when like you just lock down a game, that you get in 2016 versus 2017, where you don't get that same kind of juice, where they got Quintana. They did a few things, but like it wasn't the same as when you like really kind of satisfied your needs. And the difference between the feeling in a clubhouse when you get the juice versus when you don't get the trade deadline juice, and how it can be invigorating or deflating. And I found that to be pretty interesting as well. So
I agree. The hangover, and just, I think he said he thought the one that they left on the table was 2015 more than 2016. He's like, I really thought we were going to win it that year, and, coming off at 16. I mean, just the insight into that and the hangover that exists and the lack of Cubs putting pieces around there to juice up that fucking clubhouse. It was great. Heartfelt. You could
honest.
He deals with the what ifs of his time with the Cubs, as all you fans do.
Well, in 15, a lot of Cub fans will tell you that was a more fun season because it was a bit unexpected coming out of 14, when they had, like, I think they just turned it around. Like they lost 90s or they lost 97 and then they won 97. It was like that big of a turnaround. It was like really stark. And it was just because they started adding to the team, and that gives you, and what Rizzo said was, they believe in us. Like we are starting to believe in us, but you were turning around. You trade for Addison Russell. You get John Lester on the team. You get start getting Arrieta going, and that
John
was
Lackey.
A huge part of it. Yeah. John Lackey. Yeah. Huge part of, and I thought it was funny. He was like, John Lackey's the nicest guy in the world, except on game day. I don't want to give too much away. You guys should all listen to the and boost the ratings for it's the Glory Days podcast.
Yeah, Glory Days podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify. We actually went #1 on sports podcasts on Spotify a couple weeks ago, which is incredible to see. I really wrote this interview for Cubs fans. Even being a Brewers fan, I wanted to make sure I did service to you and got you the answers to the questions you had lingering. And I think we did a great job. So if you're a fan of the Cubs, if you're a fan of that core, if you're a fan of that run, and I don't know how you're not a fan of Anthony Rizzo, like you have to check out this podcast. And I'm sure
can
we
you imagine being a Cubs fan and you're just like not into Anthony Rizzo? Like there's got to be one. There's always one guy.
Always one.
Yeah. I was thinking, actually, I just had this thought just the other day that because you're a stand-up comedian, I'm like, you could just do a whole hour on the concept of there's always one guy. There's always that one guy. You can just keep tying it back to that one guy who's just
the always one guy for me now. Whenever I post anything, I was trolling in the comments a little bit on our Instagram page, and it was Cubs fan just talking about how we're owning your ass, how you're a little brother, and every time you guys just come back to, you never won a World Series, and so I'm just like, I go, you guys are going to become what fucking Bears fans are, where all you talk about is that 85, 86 Super Bowl, and it's all you have.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you have. And I would say that I'm just like, this Brewers team, it's built for a playoff run. We put balls in play. It plays great defense. We steal bases. Everybody like, who's the bopper on this team? You have an Andrew Vaughn. And I'm like, I can see us making a run. I mean, it's still the Dodgers and then who? And it could be the Brewers.
Well, and the Dodgers, speaking of World Series hangovers, like, they've been beat up all year, kind of underperforming what people would expect, having some of the best players to have ever played the game, future Hall of Famers all through their lineup, and they're not the best team in baseball. You guys are, and we're better than them. Well, we have a better record, I think, than the Dodgers do. Or we were tied at some point. I don't know what it's sitting at right now. I kind of stopped standings watching because it was like
I would too if I was a Cubs fan.
Yeah, I mean, the wild card we're sitting atop of, but and then you got the Padres right there. But no, we got 70 wins and the Dodgers have 71. You have 78. Like, that's a whole week. Well, I mean, winning 14 straight, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Now, what was the thing with not George Webb? Who is the?
Oh yeah, George Webb. So
that is what it is. Okay.
I mean, we've had a thing since the 80s. If the Brewers win 12 games, everybody gets free burgers. And they've done it twice. The first time was during that World Series run and in the 80s, and they gave away I think like 500,000 burgers. And then we did it again in 2017. They gave away like 300,000. So this Wednesday from I think it's like 4 to 6 o'clock, you go to George Webb's, you get a free fucking burger. And, if you want to stand in line for 2 hours for a burger you wouldn't even pay to eat anyways, this is it for you guys.
Yeah, it's I mean, it really is just uncanny how like year after year, it's like that 2018 year when it kind of came back and was able to catch the Cubs, who had a pretty decent similar lead. It was just later in the year, so it was a little even more heartbreaking at that point.
Yeah,
and just like that year, Cubs look. If the season ended today, Brewers get a bye, Cubs play the Padres, and that's
and you'll take that.
I will have to.
Yeah, you'll have to take
it. And the only thing that can really stop that from happening is if the Cubs sweep the Brewers in these 5 games. Oh, darn it. I was going to look up if has there ever been a Cubs 5-game sweep?
Oh.
I was going to look that up. And anyway, somebody look it up if you're watching right now.
I do want to ask this question, though, and it's so far in advance, though. But the Brewers win a World Series. What's your argument anymore for Cubs fans? Well, that you are the better franchise.
No, it shouldn't
because you won more World Series when guys were throwing underhand and there was 6
working
teams
as plumbers. Yeah, working as plumbers in the offseason, fighting a war, coming off the freaking World War I trenches. Not even it was before World War I. What am I even talking about? Like,
I'm a Packers fan. We talk about all the Super Bowls run. Like, they don't count. They're wearing leather helmets and there were 7 teams in the league. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Ottoman Empire was still a thing. But no, it's embarrassing. Like, I heard a woman say it the other day, and I actually kind of like shouted her down. She's like, because I was mentioning the Brewers coming to town. She's like, well, what have they ever done? They've only never even won a World Series. I'm like, that's not really the punch down that you think it is. It's like we got the 1. Years. Yeah, and we barely did it. We were down 3 games to 1. They tied it after winning by a bunch. Joe Madden really took out Kyle Hendricks for no reason. Like, there's a lot of embarrassment happening.
It's this ego and arrogance of Cubs fans
which we don't deserve.
That you don't deserve, and it has lived for a large majority of the time in mediocrity. So I just don't understand it with you guys. You're so delusional of what you have.
I can draw a line back to like great radio jocks like Jonathan Brandmeier, who used to sing anti-Milwaukee songs from back in the day, calling you a bunch of cheeseheads. And he had very popular show on the Loop, which he sang a song called "Hey There, Polka Boy, Go Home and Suck a Beer," and he made fun of your women being like, not attractive and things like that. And so it just kind of like entered the Chicago zeitgeist of people that are my age. It's a big punch down, like made fun. And now like now we're just a bunch of fibs who you drive over the border and stole all your lake property. It's with our
Lake Geneva people of the world. You steal our lakes. Even the Wrigley North argument is becoming old. Like, I was having that argument in comments. It's like, it's Wrigley North. Cubs fans show up. I'm like, we're going to be like top 10, easily maybe even top 5 this year in attendance in the league. We're selling out games left and right that don't even include the Cubs. And
Well,
so it's
to be fair, you're giving away tickets at gas stations, for if you buy a free slushie.
and we have our secret how to get tickets there, Danny.
Oh,
We
yeah.
do.
It's on a need-to-know basis.
Need to know basis. If you want to be my friend, I might let you know.
No, you got to go to the game with me because we didn't go together this last time, but I did go to the game with Basket Man Josh, the Basket Man. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're not really a Cubs fan. So, but me and Basket Man Josh, we go to the game, and I'm like, no, we're doing it this way. And when we walked up and we got our euchre tickets, and he's like, oh my God, why doesn't everybody do this? I'm like, because they don't know the secret. And no, you can't really find out the information that much online. It's hard to find out the information. Yeah. It's not that readily available. And I don't think that many people are even watching right now. So, you'd have to jump through your own hoops.
Long story short, you can get into a game for $7 cash money, baby.
You can. $5. Dude, it's $5 and you need cash though. That's the thing that people don't have. And so then you got a problem. But anyway, is there anything I want to else talk about the Anthony Rizzo thing? Not really. I think we got
this. Great dude. And a question I wanted to ask him was like, would he ever consider playing for the Brewers? Because I just think that would be just twisting the knife into Cubs fans. But we don't need him.
No, you don't, because you somehow can turn Andrew Vaughn into a superstar. But I'm going to play a quick commercial for our Patreon and In the Clutch shirts. And so we'll be back in just 2 minutes, and then we'll talk about this series. Does it sound good? And then I know you got to go, so we'll be quick about it. I promise you. All right, we'll be right back.
The Bleacher Bunch brings you great shows like Sun Ranto, Cubs PS Plus, Bricks Behind the Ivy, Cup of Cubby Blue, and Baseball Rabbit Hole. But you could be getting so much more when you subscribe to our Patreon page for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/bleacherbunch. Get access to our exclusive daily show Cubs Pod, where we recap every single game. Plus, be the first to hear Cubs music, get early access to events, and receive an invitation to join our Discord Cubs community, where fans just like you show up every day to rant and rave about our beloved boys in blue. Most importantly, 10% of your Patreon pledge will go directly to help the Lost Boys Youth Baseball program. So join us. There are perks at every level, like the Renter Calendar, absolutely free, and name recognition for you or your business. We are independent Cubs podcasters, and we need your support. Otherwise, we'll quit. Seriously, we'll all quit. Some of us might even die from your lack of support. In fact, the cutest little puppy you've ever seen will die if you don't support the Bleacher Bunch at patreon.com/bleacherbunch. We promise to spend all the Patreon money on tickets and beer and all the dung crap we have to buy just to keep our podcast rolling. So give us your money, and we'll waste it far better than you will. Patreon.com/bleacherbunch. Free trials are available, but don't do a free trial. Just join, okay? Okay. Patreon.com/bleacherbunch.
In the clutch, in the clutch. Buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Take it from the Bleacher Bunch. You'll love the shirts from In the Clutch.
In the Clutch shirts are comfortable, stylish, and guaranteed to get you laid. Plus, they're proud sponsors of the Bleacher Bunch. Use promo code BleacherBunch for 10% off your purchase.
Nice to feel and soft to touch. That's why you will get laid so much. Wearing a shirt from In the Clutch. And you can thank the Bleacher Bunch.
In the Clutch, in the Clutch. Buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Remember the code Bleacher Bunch. Save 10% at In the Clutch. In the Clutch. In the Clutch.
In the Clutch shirts actually not really guaranteed to get you laid.
We are back, and if you haven't hashtag chanced in the chat yet, you should, because you can win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. And I just sent out a bunch of them, so you should be expecting them in the mail. I want to get to a couple comments on the chat here. Here from the newly retired boomer Bill Sugas, who has nothing to do at 12:34 in the afternoon on a Monday, except for watch us shoot the shit about Anthony Rizzo and this.
Happy retirement, Bill.
Seriously.
Ranter of the year.
He deserves it. He says, until you win it, you ain't shit. Period. Bigger participation trophy to cry in your pocket, pancakes and brats. So, I think Bill Suggins is going to do great as a retiree.
I love it. I love following his journey. He's doing a lot of walks to like fire off content like this, and this is what we need.
It really is. We should have him on the show, really, as a regular basis. Maybe we need to give him a segment. Yeah. And Guy Sirius, otherwise known as Jared Gable, the bass player for the Bleacher Bum Band, and one of my oldest friends, says that the Cubs swept the Mets in a 5-game series in 1970. So it's good to know. It's possible. I mean, 1970, that was real close to 1969, where the Cubs choked. Oh, wait, that's not good. I also dropped a link in the chat to the Spotify episode of Anthony Rizzo on the Johnny Manziel Glory Days show. So check it out. Yeah, hashtag Chance Little Yumper saying it. So is Boomer Bill. And all right, the Brewers. It's a 5-game set, which now I don't remember one of those happening before. I mean, did it happen? Maybe I was trying to think. It might have happened when the fake rainout.
Oh,
what year was the fake rainout? That's the question. Was it 2018? Because I do think that that's pretty hilarious. Like, speaking of,
I remember this so vividly of just like,
we should not be proud of this. That we would have this fake rainout. We had a 4-game set. So I'm thinking it was 2018. I'm looking at here. It doesn't look like it. Well, anyway, I don't remember. Maybe that ended up a 4-game set. Then it was a 3-1 before. But anyway, Brewers on a roll. Now not on a roll. Totally derailed by the 1-game loss. Yeah, and you almost won. You came back and you almost won. It went to extras, and in the end, you just failed miserably. And you must be so disheartened after that terrible freaking loss.
Disheartened. The Reds are a burgeoning team with a lot of talent on it that are really going to be in contention for a wild card spot, and they're not going to go away. And in that first game, we come back from an 8-run deficit and beat them by a lot. And then game 2.
That was disheartening for Cub fans. We're like, oh, look, they're finally going to lose.
Come back again, force extras, 3-run shot off the bench on Andrew Monasterio. Boom, beat him again. And then yesterday, we didn't have the relievers we wanted because the horses have been going. And honestly, I feel like we could have won that game if we went with our guys. But I loved it because we're saving them for you guys. And we didn't go with McGill. We didn't go with Pyamps. We didn't go with like our studs. We didn't go with Mears. And essentially, I think that's why we lost that game, but we're ready to go for you guys. And I think this is the series like, let's just put our foot on their throat and freaking stomp on it, dude. Like, let's just put this to rest.
I mean, honestly, putting your foot on the throat is winning 2 of these games.
Yes.
Like, that's all at this point. It's just like, I'm not dead. Yes, you're dead. He'll be stone dead in a moment. It's like, Bring out your dead from Monty Python. It's like the Cubs are almost dead in the water as far as the Central goes. Like, they're still top wild card team, but like,
and we lined this series up so well with our starters and what we got coming your way.
It's 5 games. Everybody's going to face
everybody's going to pitch. Everybody's going to pitch.
Everybody's out there. It's all the team versus all the team. We're going to see everybody. So, and recently your everybody has been way better than our everybody, and that is for sure, because because before the numbers were as such, where the Brewers OPS and their batting average was kind of low, but you were still scoring runs, still winning games, climbing back into stuff. But recently, this last month, over this, you have the second best OPS in baseball, 845 to be precise. And the Cubs have a 664 over that stretch. And we're one of the teams, I've never seen anything like it. You are one of the best teams in baseball for months, and then you completely disappear. And it was a couple of guys. PCA disappeared because I think worn out from the All-Star game, and Kyle Tucker disappeared for either he's hurt or he's feeling the pressure of that big contract that he's been playing for his whole life. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's fucking everything up for the Chicago Cubs.
I don't know, man. It's been good to watch. I'm so excited for this series. I love what the Brewers have been doing. What is it with Kyle Tucker? That's my big question.
I don't know, but our whole offense, like last year, our problem was not having a guy like Kyle Tucker on the team.
Yeah.
And so then they got him for this year. And obviously when we had him, it was incredible. And now that he's there and not really quite present, it's like not having Kyle Tucker on the team all over again. And it's just like last year where you'll go 500 at best and you end up with 83 type win team, you know?
Here's a good question. What kind of pressure do you think the Cubs are playing with going into this series? Because like I felt it so hard with that Reds team and just defensively how they were playing. It was almost like they had the yips at times, like falling over themselves in the outfield, falling over each other, trying to get balls. It's like you could tell they were pressing, and it was like they're like, fuck, we're playing the Brewers. Like, we got to bring our best shit because this team's going to get after our ass. And I'm interested to see how that affects you guys in this series.
Well, yeah, because we've been kind of crapping the bed for about a month now. And once the offense is kind of broke again, which happens year after year at this time of year for somehow. But when you saw that, you did see a lot of frustration. Kyle Tucker's throwing his helmet. You've got like PCA throwing bats. Like, you know, things weren't. Now PCA had a couple hits this weekend. Seemed to look a little bit better. He, you know, is flying into second base, but he's made a few mental mistakes too. Overslid a base this last weekend. Cubs did lose a game to the Pirates. You can't be really losing games to the Pirates at all right now, given the hole you've dug yourself.
And it wasn't the Skeens game, which you could probably lose. We
didn't even face Skeens.
No, we did, and we freaking rocked them for 5 runs, and we did that. Got them for 4 earlier in the year.
Yeah, and but then Little Yumper says the Cubs deadline deals tell you how much pressure they feel. But LMAO, because they didn't really, they're like, no, we're just going to slow and steady wins the race. And no, slow and steady is going to like be a wild card spot, which is like, that's our freaking motto. It ain't aim high. It's aim medium, mid high, you know, like let's make one of the tournament slots and call it a day. If we happen to get hot, we get hot. Do
you feel like Ian Happ's found his groove? I think he had two RBIs yesterday.
You know, he is always good for a walk.
Yeah.
You know, this guy doesn't excite me. The fact that he's been like freaking etched in stone in the lineup in left field when these guys obviously need to be rotated in and out in a long and grueling season in a very fast-paced, tough game. And when you are preparing for multiple pitchers in 2 leagues, 29 other teams, like it's a harder game than ever. You know, that like your average freaking bullpen guy is throwing 7 miles per hour faster than like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. You know, it feels, and he's spinning it, you know, a million more rotations or something. You know, it's just ridiculous how they've allowed Tech to build these dudes into like monsters, like baseball monsters, and yet they still have to play 162 like they always did. And now you have to play all the teams instead of just like the guys you always play. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sure they phoned in a bunch of games back in the day, you know, like, oh, it's game 16 against the Brewers. Like, we know this guy. I'm not going to study up the night before as much. We know him. And I think that's still the case in some respect. But my point is the Cubs have no bench and they haven't been able to sub in these guys. And Ian Happ's batting .222. So I don't have too much good to say about him. Kyle Tucker's disappeared. Obviously needs a day off, if not a fake IL stint. Seiya Suzuki actually benefited last year from a fake IL stint where he just got his freaking mentals together and he came back and he hit like it was freaking Shohei Ohtani for the like 2 months straight. Yeah. It was insane. He carried the team on his back for 2 months and they didn't give him that break this year because they've got nobody to sub in that is worth a damn. And you guys do. You guys just rotate dudes through. You got a bench. And you got a pinch hitter. We don't have any of that.
The scary part about the Brewers is like we went on this historic winning streak. And you got to understand we didn't do it with our best young player in Jackson Churio. And Rhys Hoskins has been on the aisle. And both those guys are coming back for this stretch run. So it's like, you know, we're doing it with those little pieces.
You're so fucking cocky. It's driving me nuts. Oh, man. I can't. If I could smack you through this, through this microphone, if I could get at you, I can't get at you. Sorry for the podcast listeners.
Sorry, the facts are hurting your feelings of,
I know.
of the greatness of what we're doing.
I was holding it together. I was even on your side.
Yeah, I know.
Just, you're just so cocky that you make yourself so punchable.
Comparison is the thief of joy, Danny. I always say that. It's a great line.
It really is. It is. I should just go out there to the game tonight and just enjoy being out at the old ballpark. You know?
Because you're not us and you're never going to be us because your front office is incapable of doing it. And you're not going to allow Craig to be Craig and do what makes him great. And
no, it's already it's predisposed.
And
if a righty is going to come into the game late, you're going to see the double switch. You're going to, and it's not Craig doing it. I really don't think it's Craig. I think it's all predetermined. Everything is just like the corporate mindset. We're playing this by the numbers, even though the numbers are always in flux. But this is not even a talk. We're talking about the offense. Your pitching has been the best. It's got the top team ERA in baseball in the last, I think did I look up? Was it just the last? Let me look it up again because it might be just the last little bit of time like 30 days that you've been the best pitching staff in baseball, but you're top even in the overall, I think.
Yeah, we're really high up there. It's a deep freaking rotation, man.
Yeah,
and
it's third overall in the whole league.
Yeah, in the whole league.
Last 30 days, you have a 334, and that's number one next to the Padres, who are right there. And the Cubs, they're middling.
And you're going to see all these dudes, and you look how the Brewers pieced it together in a way. I mean, we obviously have our workhorse front-of-line dude, Freddie Peralta, who we're going to see in this first matchup. You got Brandon Woodruff, comes back after that UCL injury, misses all of last season, and we sign him to a 2-year deal just for this year. We let him rehab. We pay him to just get better and come back, and he's just been a workhorse in a stud. And then we go and we get Q, Brewers legend, Brewers killer, and Q is just pitching out of his mind for an old dude, that old vet on that rotation. And you make a trade for Quinn Priester, who I think is like 13-2,
and from Chicago. He's from Cary, Illinois, which a friend of mine, Carl, I don't know if he ever taught the kid, but he's a teacher at that school. He goes, everybody's so excited. I'm like, they're excited for a Brewer? Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Quinn Priester's of Cary, Illinois. Plus you got,
the Miz.
already have the Miz. Plus you got Woodruff, who came back from injury. Plus you got Freddie Peralta. Like, these are all way like higher end dudes than our guys. Who, by the way, for us, we still got a bunch of TBDs and all through this series. We don't really know what we're going to throw at you.
And we had so much. We traded Nestor Cortez to the Padres for a great bat, great defensive dude, and then we're calling up Chad Patrick for this series.
I don't even know who that is.
Who was like one of the best rookie pitchers, and we were so deep we sent him down. Like, if he pitched the whole season, he'd be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. He's just been insane, and he's coming up. It's. Man.
No, I know. We're looking at this stuff, and we're like, we got guys like that. We've got Moises Ballesteros, who did nothing but do a bases clearing double at Miller Park, and then got sent down for his troubles very next day. And that's what we do, And talking to John Baker yesterday, you guys are in the sweet spot, because what the Pirates do is they kind of bring guys up because they need to bring them up because they have nobody else to play. So they're bringing guys up that maybe in the Cubs system would languish there till they're 26 years old. You know what I mean? And then maybe never get a shot until they get traded away in some BS trade, right? Yep. The age is out of our system. They're absolutely sure that this guy can play at the major league level. The Cubs won't bring him up. Pirates bring them up a year or two early sometimes, but sometimes those guys can surprise you and pleasantly, but then they get good their third year as a Pirate, because they finally are the right age to do it. Yep. Brewers know how to bring the guys up at the exact right time to do shit that's magic for the 2-3 years that you're too stupid to know, like Anthony Rizzo said that John Lester used to say about him, that they're too stupid to know that they're not supposed to be this good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
It's,
that's what you got, and that's not devil magic. It's competence.
it's competence. And you put one big contract on that team in Christian Yelich, and Christian Yelich looks like he's back.
Yeah.
It's Bryce Terang. He's the 2-time Gold Glover. He won the best overall defensive player last year. You make a trade for William Contreras, who's just, that glue guy, that Mr. Consistency, Sal Frelick of the world. It's
got a
and
question.
There's more. And the crazy part is there's more from where that came from.
I know.
One of the best farm systems in the league.
I did see that article recently. And the Cubs, who are no wonder we couldn't make any trades. Nobody wants our guys. They're like, actually, we want the Brewers guys. They're better. Yeah. Little Yumper asks, what does Eric think about Craig getting bashed by Kaplan being called overrated? That's David Kaplan, one of the leading Chicago sports pundits, and has been on the Son Ranto show.
I mean, I guess I would say what is overrated. I mean, is he overpaid for that team that he, they don't put the pieces around and they don't give him the farm system that he's used to? Just looking at what this Brewers team's doing without him, I would say there is going to be an argument for that at the end of the season in the way it shakes out for the Cubs.
Well, and I agree with that. I mean, I don't know how much of this is Craig's fault. We've been asking ourselves this for years. How much of it was David Ross's fault? How much of it was, like Joe Madden seemed like he left on bad terms because they were trying to get in there and, mess with his system because they had this whole new analytics they wanted him to use. And then when that came to a head and when he was managing the Angels, they fired him.
Yeah.
So the godfather of analytics got analytics out of the game. So, and it's an annoying part of the game, although it seems to work. But let's go through these real quick. I know you got to go, but we got game 1 today. It's going to start in about half hour. Horton versus Peralta. Cade has never faced the Brewers, and Freddie Peralta gave up 5 last time against the Cubs.
He got after him. I was at that game.
They got after him.
The Wednesday game. It was like a humidor in that stadium, man. And you guys needed that, and you rocked him. And you've proven the ability to get after Peralta.
I've seen him enough.
Yeah.
And then tonight's TBD for both teams. Last I looked, I don't know if you heard anything different, but
I'm assuming that's going to be Chad Patrick, who I talked about, who we brought up for the series. That's going to be the dude that's going for us.
Because we brought up an extra reliever, Luke Little, and sent down Assad, who started yesterday, which that's just kind of a procedural options. Let's Assad go. He'll probably be back at some point is what I'm saying. And then
wait, hold on. I want to look at Chad Patrick's stats. Wait, okay. Yeah. Let's bring it up.
I'm sure he's going to strike out 15 and set some sort of rookie record or something. A complete game, no hitter.
Not going to create dead air looking up stats, but here we go. And then game 3.
Yeah, Woodruff versus Boyd. So that's a pretty marquee matchup for how got Woodruff coming back looking. I don't know. How does he look after coming back from injury?
Excellent. And he's going deeper into games. I mean, he just pummels the strike zone. His stuff is looking elite. You're going to get 1-2 runs off of him, and you're in every game with Woodruff. I mean, if you want to talk about locker room guy and just that horse that goes out there and bulldogs it, I mean, he's our Lackey or he's our Lester on this team. He's just that personality on that pitching staff.
Yeah, and we didn't face him yet this year, so and then we missed him in the last series, and then Mizorowski, and then Priester, games 4 and 5, and it's a day game on the Thursday. So we faced Priester, and he did pretty well against the Cubs, even though he should be a fan of them being from Cary, Illinois. But obviously, it's just a little too close to Milwaukee. And then Mizorowski is just, a guy who undeservedly was given an all-star nod this year.
Yeah, that's true. But for baseball and what makes things interesting, I understand the move to put him in it. He came off an injury. He got hit with a ball, had like a little tiny little hairline fracture that he had to get over. He came back, gave up 4 runs. The great part is, like, some people shit on him. It's like he's either going to be elite, strike out 12, or he's going to have that outing where he gives up 4. And it's like, does he even deserve to be in this rotation with the guys they have? Or, did we move him to the bullpen? But it's like just getting that experience and letting him find his groove and just letting him get through hard situations. I'm like, imagine this dude 3 years from now, 4 years from now. It's Randy Johnson in the flesh, essentially.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, he's even as ugly as Randy. And then he got 4 innings against the Cubs where we managed to get 2 earned runs, 3 total off of him, but he did strike out 7.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to him, but did you really get to him?
I mean, there is a bright spot on your pitching staff in Horton, right? And he's the guy that goes today. And, truly in this game 1, the Brewers coming off a tough series against Red. We're traveling. You got to stay at home. It's the doubleheader. Like, I would say of all the games in this series, this is the one that probably has me the most worried for the Brewers of winning this game. Just the way you got after Freddie in that game 1, the way Horton's been throwing. See, I'm not as cocky as you think. I'm a realistic person, unlike you Cubs fans, where I can look at my team, look at the matchup, and not think we're the greatest thing in the fucking world just because we won 14 straight.
Well, we're throwing a Hail Mary pass and just might as well hope for something. So, the fact that if you win 5 straight, you're back in this thing and you could think about the division again and breathe down the Brewers' neck about it. I think that's just good for baseball. So you should root for it too. That's kind of what I'm saying here.
I love the perspective you put. If we need to win 2 and it's over.
No, it's true because you can't climb back in. You need to pick up at least 4 or 5 to even be considered, because then you're picking up what, 2.5 games,
yeah.
or So and then after that we got the Angels. So I don't know. I fear that we're looking past you guys to the Angels.
Well, you Cubs fans, you'd love to. Oh, we had the toughest first half of this season.
I never believed that. I don't want to hear it.
We have the easiest record on our opponents on paper.
I never believed
the rest of the season. So, the Brewers have been playing out of their shoes because they swept the Dodgers 6 games this season, and they got some tough matchups coming on. We're the best team in baseball. Shut the fuck up.
I know. No, we should. Either go out there and win 5 straight or shut the fuck up. I totally agree. Otherwise, be happy with what you got. You're a wild card team. Try to beat the Padres and suffer through all the stupid Steve Garvey crap from 1984 and the trauma that you may feel. I'm not talking about me. It's just a guy I know. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna be together soon on September 6th. Johnny Onomatopoeia, we're throwing him a bachelor party. Me, you, and another friend, Ran, is coming out, and he's a Reds fan. So we got really pretty much 3 out of the 5 NL Central teams at this bachelor party. And we're going to play some music in some way, shape, or form at Output Lounge that day. We're going to go to the game on September 6th. I don't have tickets yet, but we're working on that. And we'll be wearing funny I won't give
it away.
Yeah, I won't give away anything.
I'm excited to be in the bleachers with y'all again, getting heckled, by the people that are the ranters out there. I love it. I live for it. Try not to get so drunk this time that I fall down a flight of stairs with 2 beer bats in my hand. You never know. I
don't know. I'm hoping we reenact that, which means we can't sit in the bleachers, which I don't even know if we can, because it is sold out, the bleachers for the Nationals. Can you believe it?
Wow. All right.
I know. So I'm looking at the secondary market. It's like $180. I'm like, I think we'll sit in the stands or get standing room, or we get a suite for that. We get all inclusive for that or something, I don't know. Anyway, I know you got to go, but hopefully we'll see you on September 6th. I know I'll see you, but hopefully see everybody else there. And all right, 20 minutes till game time. What is your actual prediction for all this?
I think the Brewers are going to win. We're going to win 3 out of the 5 games in this series. Solidify it, establish it, get after you guys. I just don't trust your offense. I don't think you guys have ways to manufacture runs in the way the Brewers do. I think our bullpen's better, our starting rotation's better. I mean, we're going to win 3 out of 5. That's my prediction. I think we lose this game 1. I do. I really do.
So false hope today. Today's the trap game for Cubs fans' mood.
Yes.
I guess is what you're saying.
I love it. It's undersell, over deliver. And, you'll be hopeful for, the 2 hours between the games.
Well, let's pick a winner, and somebody's going to win. Who will it be? And it is, oh my God, it's taking forever. Josh. Congratulations, Josh. You are the winner. You can expect your prize sometime in the off season, which is a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. Shop it in the clutch. Shop at Matt Kammerer's Permanent Paintings. I got a new freaking tattoo. Check that sucker out. And anyway, may the best team win as long as it's the
What's
Cubs.
your prediction?
Oh, Cubs sweep. This is as delusional as I get.
All right.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I will play Bleacher Bum Band's song Florida Man in honor of Anthony Rizzo, who I wrote the song about. So here's Florida Man and Spagog.
Love ya. Go Brewers.
He's a Florida man. You can pick up from while he does the splits and he dumps upon away from the shift. He's a Florida man. And all night long, Rizzo gonna rain, yeah. He's screaming high, you better be respected, yeah. I'm Florida man, Florida man. He plays the passion, drive that horse. He catches balls on in the top. He's a Florida man. Gets beaten alive cause he drives the play. His emotions live in a fast case. He's a Florida